Alrighty, everyone. I hope you're well. I think there's a few stragglers still turning up. Yeah, I'm excited about today. I tell you what, a bit of work has gone into this webinar, so I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. Let's just see if I can deliver it now. All right. So the roofing industry lead gen, we're going to have a deep dive into a vertical. I'm going to have a look at a big player in this space, and we're going to look at what they're doing and dissect it. Okay, today's the 30th of Jan, 2020. So what are we going to run through today? So firstly, sorry, I know when we originally discussed this webinar and sent the email out, we're going to run through 3 verticals. We're going to run through roofing, solar, and one other. The problem was when I got started, I realized there was just way too much for one webinar for those 3 verticals. So we're going to break them down and do a vertical per month. I think solar next month, although I am doing a webinar in between on chatbots. And then we're going to do solar after that. And then the month after, I'm still not sure where we're going to go yet, but time will tell. And just to let you know as well, we will be turning, for those of you who like reading stuff rather than watching and hearing, we're going to be turning this stuff into some epic blog posts as well. So you guys will be able to see everything and kind of click on links and all of that, which is hard to do within a webinar. So we're going to run through what's working in this industry and what isn't. We're going to see who's running ads. We're going to choose someone to reverse engineer. We're going to deep dive into the ads using the Facebook transparency tool. We're going to look at their quiz. We're going to look at the advertorial funnel. We're going to see what we can do better with the ads. We're going to see what we can do better with their funnels. And what else can they do better? And what would Flex Digital, my agency, do to get cheaper, better quality leads? And then, of course, how you can do this yourself. So what is working in the roofing industry? Well, I have a bit of an unfair advantage. One of the students that bought my course, and it's in my program, is spending 10K a day on ad spend in this space. He's doing a hybrid deal, which means that he's figured out a deal where a client pays all of the ad spend and then he takes a cut of every closed deal for these roofers, and it's working very well. So what he's telling me is survey funnels still work great, and the same old hooks that were working in roofing a couple of years ago are still working now, i.e. the no money down, the 0% interest, the storm damage, their insurance claims, but you have to be careful. And you know, these funnels are all still working okay. It's getting more expensive, but it's still very profitable. And there's so many leads out there, it's not funny, he's saying. Okay. The other thing is that interest targeting is not required once the pixel is seasoned. Okay, so once you get some leads coming in, everything's just broad for him at the moment. You don't have to worry about breaking stuff down and doing, you know, breaking down to different mobile devices and all of that crap. Okay. Once the pixel's seasoned and you have a good creative, then Facebook looks after the rest. Lookalikes work well though, layered with some demographic data. Contact rate for these leads need to be or should be between 60 to 70% to work. But with smaller clients in this space, you must install text and email automation software to help them, okay? Because they're just not going to make these type of leads work on a pay per lead basis unless you help them with a follow-up sequence. CPMs and cost per clicks are rising, and the cost per lead for this guy, my mystery guy in my course, ranges between 10 and 40 bucks a lead. Okay, so it is getting more expensive. Some areas of the country, it's really cheap. Some more competitive areas are more expensive. As I said, it's still working, it's very profitable. And the ability to close the leads varies wildly. Okay, good buyers will make Facebook leads work. All right. And as I said before, small operators are really struggling and likely won't be around for too long. So just if you're in this niche and you're looking to go into this niche, just bear all of this stuff in mind. So what's he not doing that he should be doing? By the way, yeah, it's recorded. It's recorded. This webinar is recorded. You'll be able to get everything again. So what is he not doing? He hasn't built a proper lead gen brand. I'll show you what I mean by that later. Advertorials, hasn't tried them. Lead magnet with an epic email follow-up, he hasn't tried that either. I'll explain all of this in a minute. He hasn't tried any other ad networks. Well, I think he might have dabbled, but he hasn't had any success. And he hasn't done any good segmentation and cross-selling. He basically has a funnel that works, and he's making very, very good money with just a simple survey funnel. It shows you how easy it is when you land the right clients, okay? So let's see who are running ads in this space. So the way that I break this down over the next few minutes is the exact process my agency follows. And we use a tool called Advert Suite to do this. I'm just going to show you I'll show you later what it looks like. We also use Ad Genius. If you want to look at Advert Suite, there's a link to be able to get it. I think it's 67 bucks. And we found it over the last month or so, and it's been epic. We used to do Ad Genius, which is 97 bucks a month. And Advert Suite is 67 bucks one-off payment. And I think it's even better. So if you are looking at getting into a scraping tool to find out what ads people are running, then this is the best on the market, I think. I would highly recommend it. You search by keyword, and we want to look in the USA only and look for the ads that have the most comments, likes, and shares on Facebook. And once we find who we think is the biggest and the best, we want to dissect their ads and their funnel and then do better than them. And this is how we enter most markets safely on a pay per lead basis. So this is what Advert Suite looks like. You can look at Facebook, Instagram, Google search, and YouTube, which is very cool. And you just type in here keywords, and I've typed in roofing, gone for United States, and then searched, and all of these ads are coming up, okay? And guess what? The company that I thought, if you go back up here, with the most comments, likes, and shares, the company that I thought was the winner was a company called Modernize, all right? And you can see what some of their ads look like here. Okay, you can see 199, 42, 93, 102, 32, 58, 6. All of these ads are getting good engagement, have likely had a lot of spend on them, although not massive, okay? And what we do next is go into their Facebook ads via the Facebook ads library and see what they've got running at the moment. So you just type in Facebook ads library into Google and then go click on the link and go to all ads, type in the fan page name, which you found here, here, and here, and press go, filter by all platforms, and see what happens. And these were the ads that these guys were running, okay? And we'll have a look at the copy and everything later on how I think they can be improved. But they're basically running two different types of funnels. One is an advertorial funnel, which I'll click on here, and hopefully this doesn't break everything. If I open it. Can you guys see that all right? Let's see, where's the chat? Can you guys see that? Yep, okay, cool. So this is their advertorial. The URL's here. You'll be able to grab that and have a look at the copy that they've got. And you can see the call to action and how all that works. Okay, it actually goes to the same, well, a very similar kind of quiz funnel is what I'm going to show you in a sec. If we go back to here, you can see that there's also an add to quiz funnel where there's, you know, loads of ads that are similar to this that are all posting to a simple survey funnel, okay, which looks like this. And we'll go through that in a minute, all right? And here are some of their ads, okay? This one here on the left is a video ad. It's like a simple slideshow. And the hook that they're using here is a savings kit. And this is very simple. Like anyone could put it together. It runs for about 15 seconds and it just shows some slides with a bit of copy. And then we have what I think are pretty basic stocky ads with some before and afters and, you know, just, you know, pretty ordinary images in my opinion, okay? Obviously working for them though. And what would I do to get better results on these ads? Okay, and I've got I couldn't basically get a mobile version of these using the software. So I just went into my own ad account, and you can see my ugly head here. But what I did was put a mobile version of the copy of this stuff here, up here, into here. And as you can see on mobile, you can't see, you know, most of the copy, which is interesting. And I'll run into that in a second. You can only see the first kind of 1, 2, 3 lines. They don't appear to have many variations. Lots to improve on, but let's focus on the fastest win for them. What will we do which would dramatically slash their cost per leads? And Facebook's recent change to the way they display ads means that the first 3 lines are very, very important, all right? And it doesn't look like they have redone their ads to suit. I think they can reduce their cost per lead by 25 to 30 to 50% by focusing on these 3 lines, all right? So what I would do is I'd create a new campaign within this campaign, there would only be one audience, all right, with their best audience. And I would use ad set budget for this. And I would create 20 new ad sets with the same audience on each. Does that make sense to everyone? One campaign, 20 ad sets, the same audience, the same everything within those ad sets. All right, and then what I would do is I would have 4 ads per ad set using the best images, the 4 best images that they've used. Could be 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever they are. And the best headline, which could be this one down here. All right, and then what I would do, the only change in each of these ad sets would be 20 new variations of the first 3 lines, 1 per ad set. So I would start with this one, which is obviously working for them, but then I would maybe move that checkbox up 1. I would claim an online savings guide. I might put a monetary figure in there. I would just, you know, brainstorm for a good couple of hours and come up with the best 20 different entry points into this first 3 lines. And if they run traffic to that, they would see a massive difference. What would happen is that probably 10 out of 20 would bomb. 5 out of 20 would probably be about as good as this. And you'll find another 5 that will probably be twice as good as what they've got here. And I would set them live at about $30 per day each, because I know they're going to roughly be getting $10 to $15 per lead, maybe a little bit more. So you want to give the ad set a little bit of juice to get going. Does that make sense, guys? It's a pretty quick win, and I think that would work really well. Okay, it does make sense for you guys. And that, you know, that is the fastest way for them to reduce their cost per lead overnight without worrying about everything else. And then the way I know that this works because we've done it not only for myself within my program, but for the verticals that we run in as well. It's just been a revelation over the last probably 3 to 4 weeks. And I didn't learn this as well. It didn't come from me. Came from a guy called Sterling Gardner. I think that's his name. Or Spencer Gardner. I always get it wrong, but he's in one of the groups that I think Keith Krantz's group, and I was just browsing and he did a little video case study and showed me this, or showed everyone in the group. And I thought that looks interesting. I'm going to give it a go, and immediate results. So it's definitely worth a shot. Okay. And here's a little diagram of how it works. So I could only fit 5 in here, obviously, but there's actually 20. Campaign ad set 1 best audience, ad set 2 best audience, blah, 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 all the way down 20 times. 4 ads, first 3 lines, variation only, same headline and same image. And then just set them live, campaign budget. $30 per day per ad set, yes. So 20 times 30, $600. It's nothing for these guys. They might want to do a little bit more than that. Same image, video, just change the first 3 lines only. Same headline, same audience. That's it, okay? Make sure the audience is big enough for $600 a day, but you know, something like this is gonna find the best ad copy very quickly for them, okay? Only 1 audience, that's right. Other quick wins. Ad images and videos are very stocky. They are not adding much value and they look pretty cheap. Invest in better images, more real, basically. And this isn't too hard to do. This company's got 100. I'll show you how. You know, they've got 100+ employees, and they're a big company. Okay, it's not going to be hard to invest in an actor or whatever and get out, take some real photos. Consider using maps or people's local area to stop the scroll. Okay, so if you're running ads in a county or whatever you call it in America, like a state or a section of a state or a little area, put a map of that area in. This works very well as people identify with a community and also landmarks. Michael, I wouldn't do CBO, ad set budget for this little hack, and then you'll find the winning ad copy. For the video ad, I would be creating a script like we teach in our program and head over to Fiverr to get a real person to explain why the guide is so amazing. So if you go back up to this ad here, this is Claim Our 2009 savings kit. Okay, I would do a little video here of kind of running through what this savings kit is and get an actor to explain it. All right, it's much more interesting than a crappy little slideshow. I'll show you how to do this in a sec. Why is this guide so amazing? Why does it work? Maybe get them to print it out and go through the guide showing all the useful facts. And it costs them, I think, less than $50 to do this. And considering they're spending a lot on advertising, this is a tiny comparative cost. Also in it's 2020, not 2019. All the old ads are still live, talking about 2019, just a little thing, but worth an update. They need to delve deeper into this roof savings guide within the ad copy, touch on the pain points of the target audience, plus also the benefits. All right, I don't see any long copy type ads. I think they could be doing a lot better with long copy. And also dynamic ads kill it. So let's say you run this exercise here and you find what the best headline, the best 3 lines are, and then you can start testing more images with those best 3 lines and more headlines with those best 3 lines, because I think those first 3 lines are the most important part of the ad. And if you do that with a dynamic creative, it's just going to go and supercharge. All right. The other thing is, financing offers. This is obviously a big one. Most don't want to fork out thousands on a new roof. Is there a rebate in their area? Is there 0% financing, or is there a payment plan? Use this as a hook. I don't find financing offers. It's not kind of explaining it too much. If you look back up here, there's financing options. It's probably the biggest thing for people investing in a new roof, right? If it was me, I'd be looking at finding out a little bit more about what the finance options are and how that works, and how it's almost like a no-brainer. Get 50% off roofing, claim your savings guide. How? Why? Okay, all right, the funnels next. So I'm going to run through the advertorial funnel pretty quickly. This is not the main focus of this program, of this webinar, because you can obviously spend a lot of time on how to write an advertorial. So let's have a quick look at it. You guys have seen it already. These are the stats that they're probably getting. The ad creates intrigue. Okay, it's getting clicks for less than 75 cents, I would guess. So if you see up here at the ads, don't waste money on a new roof. Read this first. Homeowners with an outdated roof are in for a surprise. See if your zip code qualifies. All right, these are very clickbaity type copy. All right, which are going to mean that you get cheap clicks. Facebook doesn't particularly like them, and I'll touch on that in a moment. But you're going to get very cheap clicks if you can get the advertorial to do the selling. Then you're off to a good start. So. Where are we? Other quick wins. Their funnels, advertorial. So let the advertorial do the selling, obviously. The advertorial should get a click-through rate of about 20%. So 100 clicks on Facebook should get you around 80 clicks to the lander. There's always a bit of a drop-off of around 20%. And then 16 clicks through, which should yield about 4 to 5 leads at about $20 per lead, okay? If you can work off those metrics. 80 clicks, 20% click-through rate gives 16 clicks, and your landing page should be converting at between 25 and 30% from an advertorial, which means you should be getting 4 to 5 leads from that at $20 per lead, which most people would be happy with, okay? What's next? I like it, but as I was saying, Facebook is becoming less happy with these type of clickbaity ads, but quality will be good. My stance would be to go to Twitter, Taboola, or Outbrain to drive safer traffic to this funnel. Okay, Twitter, Taboola, and Outbrain, they love advertorial funnels, and you're going to be able to get much more sustainable linear traffic, and we'll touch on that in a minute. And if you guys, I'm not going to run through how to write an advertorial, okay, but if you go to a website or go to YouTube and type in how to write an awesome advertorial, you will see there's a massive big blog post, which I think, when we were trying to write advertorials ourselves, there was no training online. It was very hard to get that. This blog, this blog post here alone is, I think, the best. It was written by Polly, my copywriter, and it's epic. I would highly recommend it, checking it out if you are writing advertorials. There's extensive training, and yeah, we'll just go and find it. You'll be fine. Okay. Ari, if you're listening, if you can post that into the chat box now, that'd be great. So the add to quiz funnel, let's have a look at it. I'm going to go through it with you guys while you watch, if you guys are up for that. Okay, super fast. We'll run through that in a minute. Zip code. I bet you every single person does this. 90210. Ah, where will this project take place? That's different. What's going on here? Where will this project take place? This has changed. Oh no, 90210. Okay, there we go. I thought something changed there for a second. Street address. I'm just putting anything in here. First name, last name. Just put a dummy name in. Where can we send your kit? Let's just do support at Flexxable. Enter your information. So they've got your email address at this point in time, and now they're after your number to send the free roofing kit, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense. They should have had this, because they can send the roofing savings kit before they put the number in. Maybe they're split testing this, maybe they're not. But this there's going to be a big drop off at this point in time. Okay, so the way we would normally do it is we would have use that lead magnet in order to to get their email address, and then we would transition into an offer after the email address, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to put 310-60-9400 into here. Let's see what happens. Hopefully this isn't breaking. There we go. So this is all really slick. I mean, it looks good. And here are your results. So they've obviously found a contractor that suits, and there's just one of them, which is different to what I saw last time. Last time there was 3. So here are your results. Before, what happened as well is I was given an option to schedule an appointment. So show their phone number. Okay. That's all pretty cool. Rate and review, view profile. I'd say we probably got sent an email there, but last time I had an option to book an appointment, and I'll run through that in a sec. So page speed and optimization. So what's good about that funnel that I just ran through? It's less than a megabyte in page size, which is very small and clean. I think the page looks great, and it renders well on all mobile devices. We went in and had a look at this. The quiz page, this quiz thing here is encoded, and it's not embedded, so it's very fast. It's very clean code. And they're also running VWO, Heap, and Blue Triangle to help their CRO, their conversion rate optimization, which means they're paying close attention to the lander percentage, which is very important when you're driving this much traffic. Okay. What's not good about it? So there's a 4-second page load time. We went over to GT metrics and had a look at this. And mobile is 25% slower, and it's got a score out of 75 out of 100 here. And for mobile, I would expect scores in the 90s. So they've got some improving to do here, and I think it would immediately make a difference. The main image of the shingles, if you look back up here, this shingle image here is the biggest thing that's slowing them down. All right. So just compress that image and it'd save you probably a second just by doing that, which is huge in the scheme of things. And the GTM container, the Google Tag Manager container, is loaded with all of the ad network scripts, which is hurting the load speed. So they've got Facebook, Pinterest, Taboola, etc. Okay, so they might want to think about, if they're driving a ton of traffic, of having one page per traffic source, because it's slowing them down too much. And there's not a great deal you can do about the network scripts. And ironically, Blue Triangle, which is meant to help identify slowness on load speed, is the slowest script to load. And I'm not an expert in that, but it's worth looking into. That sounds a bit weird to me. So their offer and their copy. Okay. So the pros, it's a claim your roof savings kit offer, which is good because it's not a government incentive or a hurricane damage or an insurance type offer, which means that the quality is likely to be higher. When you're running, government incentive and all of this type of stuff that everyone else is running, even though my mystery guy in my program is doing very well out of it, the quality is sometimes not that great because you're going to be getting the guys with barely any money are the ones that are applying. That's just human nature, right? So if you're able to offer and build some type of a lead magnet like they have here, then you're going to start attracting better quality people. And I think this is really good what they've done here, and it's different to what else I've seen in the roofing industry. Okay, claim is obviously a nice word to use because it makes people feel like they're entitled to get it. I like that. It's almost like claim. I need to do this. I need to get this. And by giving away a guide, it's possible to get their email address and provide value without having to ask for their phone number. They might be split testing this. At the moment, it appears that people can't get this guide unless they give their phone number. So I would probably break it down. I would give away the guide before I ask for the phone number, and then use email marketing and some persuasive copy to transition them, via email, but also via what we call the results page, to be able to transition them to the offer. And we call, in our program, we call it a results funnel. Within our training, it's essentially 2 steps. Step 1, get the email. Step 2, get the phone number. All right. So their offer and their copy, the cons, there will be better hooks out there. All right. If it was me, I would be showing a dollar figure for potential savings. Okay. So claim your roof savings kit for free. So I would perhaps have a subtitle under that says something like, the average American homeowner saves $4,327 with this guide. I just think, how much savings? I think that'd be a nice little thing to split test. It always works very well for us when we add a figure in our verticals there. Okay, so that would be a big win. And the other thing is, this funnel is going for the sale, which is fine, but only a small proportion of people will respond. Ignore this image to the right for a second. Okay, so as you can see here, and when we went through that funnel, it was all about getting the lead and going for the sale. Okay, and that's great, but when you think about it, there's only going to be a segment of people in the market that are ready for that. Okay, a hook, like, are you likely to be scammed by your roofer? Take this survey to see your danger score. I thought of that, just as I was writing this webinar, and there's probably going to be a lot better, but hopefully you guys can get the gist of that. If you can come up with, I think I put a couple later on as well, but if you can come up with something that, would attract people that aren't in the same mindset as the people that are ready to go for the sale up here, then you're going to open a much bigger audience. And if you can use the lead magnet in order to get their email address, then you're off to then you're able to start marketing to people that would normally just ignore these type of ads here. Do you get what I mean? So once you've, got that better engagement, ads like this here, are you likely to be scammed by your roofer? You're going to get probably half the price of the clicks and the leads to give away this guide, okay? Because they're going for the sale up here. And that's going to make a big difference. You're going to enter a much bigger market. Facebook are going to love your ads better. And then it's all about the transition to the offer. And Gary Halbert, the famous copywriter, calls this the segue, if you want to read further about it. But, are you likely to be scammed by a roofer? Take this survey to see your danger score. Okay, your score is 9 out of 10. Did you know that there's a roofer in your area that's, that's got a great safety record that will come and give you an estimate for free, that won't pressurize you, blah, blah, blah. If you can transition from that to that, then you might be onto a winner. And that takes skill and time and testing. But if people can crack it in this market, then that's like the holy grail, okay? Because these type of ads here, winter showcase homes needed, clearly these guys, I mean, they're probably doing okay as well. I think they're a big brand in the market, but they're kind of tricking people. It's not really a winter showcase home, is it? It's just selling them a roof. It's just kind of tricking them in a way. So there are better ways to do things. Okay. So what happens after they gather the lead? All right, this is important. If there's one thing I've learned running a successful pay-per-lead agency, is that quality is absolute key. If your clients aren't closing, they will stop buying. And small wins from each building block is required. And when I say building block, that could be ad copy. And the next thing is the funnel. And the next thing is the results page. And the next thing is, making sure the thank you page is engaging them and telling them they're going to get a call from XYZ company. And then making sure they get an email immediately. And then making sure they're getting followed up the next day. Making sure that they get a little email from the sales representative with a video. Like all of these things, if you improve them slightly, then you're going to lead to better quality over time. Okay. And the big thing that Modernize are good at is their email marketing procedure and what happens after the person becomes a lead. So the immediate email follow-up was via the 3 to 4 roofing companies they sold my lead to. Okay. So I think I got emailed. They said, I don't know whether it was the same guys, but I think the one that you just saw then, but Reliable was the roofer. They emailed me straight away. 2 minutes later, a different Beverly Hills roofing company emailed me. And then straight after, the third one emailed me. Okay, so they've obviously working well and probably doing all of this on behalf of their clients. Okay, they're probably helping them with that process, which is really good. Okay, and they're selling the lead 3 or 4 times. So imagine how profitable that is. But one thing that did confuse me is that they were meant to be giving me a savings guide, but I never received anything. And when I look back, I had a look at the page that I was sent to, and I think there was some information across the top that gave some resources and how to price and all of that type of stuff. But they could have actually put that into a little PDF and emailed it as well. I don't think it'd be too hard to do that. But I never received anything, which was confusing for me. Okay, that would be a quick win. And this is what I was talking about before. As I have been preparing for this webinar, I've been getting an email every day from Modernize, post-roofing companies. Okay, so the first 3 or 4 days were devoted to the roofing companies. And then after that, Modernize kicked in and started sending me, really nicely branded emails, which were kind of how-to guides, which were, is impressive, I have to say. And then going back to what happened within the funnel, this was you see how there's 3 companies down here when I just went through the funnel, and there was only one, and I didn't have the option to select a date and time. And what happens is that they've already sold the lead by the time that people get to this page, but then this scheduling thing pops up, and I would say, you know, maybe 50% of people actually schedule their appointment as well, and they might be, you know, selling their appointments for, you know, a higher amount, which is pretty cool. So if you, I mean, this is custom by the looks of it, but if you can use something like OneTub or I think Schedule Once, or I don't know the names of all of these different guys, but you can easily put a scheduling page on your thank you page and see if you can mop up an extra few leads and sell them as appointments with a simple hack like this. And it's pretty clever, and could all be done, you know, with Zapier and all of that. It's very easy to do these days. Okay. What would I do to get lots more cheaper quality leads? Are they on YouTube? It's an interesting question. So I went over to YouTube and I typed in Modernized Roofing, and they've got a channel with 145 subscribers, and they had, I don't know, I think there was a few more than this, but a few videos, a few customer testimonials, but not many videos at all. And then I went back over to Advert Suite, and I went to the YouTube tab and I typed in Modernize, and there's no advertiser found. So they're not advertising on YouTube, at least through their own brand. I mean, they might be elsewhere, but I couldn't find anything. And I think this is a big opportunity. And guess what? I noticed their culture video. They've got over 100 staff with 4 offices, and it could be even bigger than that now. And this is a big business, mainly built off PPC, Facebook ads, Twitter ads. They're not doing Twitter actually, but you know, Pinterest, Instagram ads, and some clever email marketing. I mean, isn't that amazing? This is a big company, and they're actually, I checked on Google search as well, and it appears they're only advertising to get roofing clients rather than actually getting leads for roofing clients, if that makes sense. So these guys are aggressive, and they're growing hard, and really it's quite exciting for people like us to see how these guys have done this. Okay. And, you know, going back to TrueView ads, this is the way forward. And TrueView ads for these guys could change everything. And they're the ones that you see when you can't skip for 5 seconds, and they should do really well here. The script is easy, and you can break it down into 5 sections. I've got a screenshot of what's inside our training here, and that is, you know, get their attention, go through the problem, some credibility, the solution, and the call to action. It's pretty easy to do. This is, you know, fairly basic stuff. And what I would do is I would test this by going to Fiverr or some similar type of acting website and get an actor or a spokesperson, and you can write them a script and get them to do it for $20 or something like that. And test some different hooks up the top here. I mean, we've just been through some of the different hooks I think they should test. And they're going to be up and running very quickly with a professional spokesperson that's, you know, on brand, and then they can get their video guys to add their logos or whatever. Pretty easy. And send the traffic straight to the quiz from that, because when you have a, you know, 1-minute video ad and people watch it all the way through and then click, then they're educated already, which means the quality is going to be off the charts compared to what they're getting from, you know, Facebook ads. And what we found as well is that customer affinity and custom intent audiences are very powerful, much better than Facebook. So we can target roofing websites, competitors, and people who are actually searching for roofing in Google. And the lead costs might be a touch high, but the quality is going to be better as people are being educated and informed by the video that they must watch before they click through to the website. Jack's saying Modernize has a lot of SEO stuff. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so this is what a custom intent audience looks like, and this is crazy, and not many people know about this. So you can go into Google AdWords, and you can go to Tools and Settings, I believe, and from there you can go to Custom Audiences. And when you find that, you can go to custom affinity or custom intent. And this is a custom intent audience, and I just created this inside my own account. I went into the audience name and typed in roofing audience. And then I went to Google Keyword Planner and I found all of the kind of buying keywords for the roofing sector. Okay, average cost of a new roof, metal roof, blah, 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 blah. And what this means is that you can show your ads to people that have typed in these keywords. Okay, that's just crazy, isn't it? And it's definitely worth a try. And custom affinity is the same. So, well, it's similar. You can show ads to people that are in the market for a new roof, if that makes sense, as opposed to people that are searching for it. People, you know, Google knows if they're visiting other websites that are about roofing and stuff like that. They're doing their due diligence. You can show ads to people like that too. So it's very powerful. And this guy here, I just did a quick search using Advert Suite to find who was actually advertising in the roofing space. And this guy was, I mean, Advert Suite doesn't have everything, right? But this guy has, you know, got an amazing ad. He's obviously got a product here as well. But it wouldn't be too hard for, you know, the owners of Advert Suite to create you know, a video that's similar to this, that's high quality, and they can maybe go through this with some of their biggest clients and explain why Modernize can find the best roofing quote or whatever. And it's not going to take much. It's not going to break the budget because they've got plenty of money, trust me. And it's just going to set themselves apart, and it's going to make, you know, that they're not going to have all of their eggs in one basket by running just Facebook ads and risk having you know, accounts shut down, all that type of stuff. Okay. So are they on Twitter? No, they're not on Twitter. We had a look at all of the tags that are on their website. They've got Outbrain, Taboola, Bing, Google, you know, all of these different ad platforms, but they're not on Twitter either. And why Twitter? Well, they already have an advertorial funnel and an offer that converts. We've seen the advertorial funnel before, and Twitter is the perfect platform for an advertorial campaign. It's cheaper and it's more linear than Facebook. And we've written a whole post on how we did this for a different vertical, but we generated 680 leads in 4 hours using Twitter. Some of you might have seen this. We just launched it a couple of days ago. But that was via an advertorial funnel. And, you know, when you get your hook dialed in and your audience dialed in at a cost per click that's profitable, like let's say you're paying $1 a click and, you know, your advertorial campaign converts at 7% or whatever it is, click to lead, then you can just up the budget accordingly and it'll continue to just convert at 7% to the cows come home, as opposed to Facebook, where we all know things go up and down and sometimes it's unexplainable what's happening there. With Twitter, it's much more linear and much easier once you get it dialed in. So I would recommend reading this blog post if you can. It's quite chunky, but it'll give you everything you need to do. And also you're less likely to shut down. The audience is more refined as well. So people on Twitter are obviously a little bit more educated, I would say. They're more interested in sharing news articles and things like that, which is why advertorials work so well. Plus, it's a traffic avalanche. Honestly, I've never seen so much traffic as I have when we got things going during this 4 hours with explained within this blog post. Okay, so check it out. You'll find it on our website. So conclusion, I score, you know, Modernize a B+ for their kind of paid traffic efforts. And I think it's a really slick business. And remember, they're not just roofing, they're doing the same for solar, HVAC, and doors, etc. as well. And, you know, I'm no expert, but I'm suggesting it'll probably be sold one day for 9 figures, if not 9, certainly mid 8 figures. You know, I could be a little bit wrong there, but that's just my gut feeling. And there's obviously some smart developers and coders that are sitting behind all this. I mean, their funnel's pretty slick. And most people listening to this webinar are unlikely to have that luxury, okay? However, I think their media buying department could do with a bit more variety with the ads and also try some new ad networks. because the whole business model is so slick, it's likely that new leads tipped into this funnel is only going to be profitable for them. And YouTube and Twitter could be massive. And their funnel is very much a sales funnel. It's very good, but they're presuming people are already in the market for a new roof with their paid ads. And if it were me, I would try and look at entering the market further down the decision tree with kind of hooks like, are you likely to be scammed by a roofing contractor? Does your roof have these 3 telltale signs it's about to fail type hooks? If you can get that working, okay, I know some of my students have tried this in different sectors, and it's hard to get it working, right? But once you do have that transition from, a hook like that to the offer that works, you're off to the races. And what does this mean for you? I mean, that's what we're here for, right? And I'm excited for you guys because we're at a special time in history. Technology has moved on massively. Anyone can build brands like this. In fact, this is what we teach. We teach people how to build a brand, how to build funnels that sit behind that brand, then drive traffic to it, and then segment and sell the leads. And guess what? I have a staff member who I hired as an apprentice and used to study at the local music school and was like a drummer. And he can build a brand like this in any vertical to about 80% of the standard within a week. All right, it's not as slick as that and not as epic as that, but he has 0 coding skills. All right, we use Unbounce for our funnels and we have templates, and he just goes out and builds these brands. It's pretty amazing, okay? And guess what? I have another apprentice I hired who taught himself how to build quiz funnels like the one that I just showed you, and host them on these Unbounce pages. And they're super fast and they do the job just as well as the funnel you just saw. All right, so we use LeadsHook to build our funnels. LeadsHook, I think it's .io. Most of you guys will know it that are listening to this webinar. This is a big business that they've got here, and we can do pretty much the same, not quite as good, right? But pretty much the same with people that I've hired that are drummers and apprentice. And another graduate that I hired has taught himself how to use ActiveCampaign and understands Zapier and can build automation sequences just as good as the ones we've run through today. We're not talking, the tools out there and the software out there today is just incredible. 5 years ago, you would have had to pay a developer $100K probably to build something like this. So things have just moved on so fast. It means that there's never been a better opportunity. It's never been easier, and you can compete with the big boys. And I would recommend you guys go and have a look at all my free training and see what's out there and try and do this yourself. I mean, why not? But if you do want faster results, then I'm looking for another 10 students. All right. We've got these 3 guys here, Craig, Thomas, and Matt. They're all doing 6 figures a month. And I'm looking for 10 more students to join us. And this is how the process is going to work. There's going to be a strategy session to solve 3 big problems. And there's a link if you're interested in joining us. And we're going to help you choose an industry and a niche to start with. We're going to help you identify and land these national level clients with a 6-figure monthly advertising budget. And we're going to show you how to build a system that takes traffic from multiple ad platforms and converts it into high quality leads in a predictable and sustainable way. And I'll help you identify what you've already got. Some of you guys have got experience in these industries, and I'll assist you with putting together a strategy to grow your business by 3, 4, or even 10 times the amount you're making right now. Okay, this is happening within our community all the time. And what happens if you get accepted? Well, I have 10 spaces and they will go by the end of the month, okay? I'll work with you via 4 virtual mastermind meetings a month to find you one thing that's holding you back from generating massive profits in your agency. Okay, we'll give you the strategy, we'll show you how to do it, and then my team will help you implement everything for you, all right? That's landing pages, strategy, hooks, ad network, funnels, copy, segmentation, the works, all right? You're gonna have your hand held throughout this whole process. We're going to take you through what we've shown you today, plus how to get clients, how to build your funnel, how to segment, how to sell the leads, everything. And you won't have to sweat about anything because we've also got unlimited chats in a closed Facebook group in between meetings if necessary. Okay. So there's a link, flexxable.com, 10 students. If you're interested, then go ahead and apply. All right. But for now, questions. What do you guys think? Have you got any questions about the webinar today and what we've spoken about? I've gone for just about an hour. I need a break, so ask away. How much will it cost for the 10 student program? Well, let's just discuss this if you're a good fit. Would this go for the UK? Definitely. There's more opportunity in the UK, I believe. How do you get roofers? We use direct mail, we use cold email, and we also use LinkedIn outreach. What would you suggest for solar? Joshua would be able to help you in a similar way. Pure gold, thanks, Eric. How much should I account for to build from the ground up, factoring all monthly costs, ad tools, spend, and ad spend, etc.? So we use Unbounce to build our funnels and our brand when we initially start out, which is like 97 bucks a month. And then if you're low on money, we'll show you how to do a hybrid deal with a roofer or a solar panel or whatever. So you can get them to pay for the ad spend and get paid on commission on the back end. And what that means is you can learn on other people's dime. And if it's, once you get your kind of cost per lead and stuff dialed in, you can go after some of the bigger fish on a pay per lead basis. We always do that ourselves. If I was to start today, would I start on Facebook or YouTube? I would still do Facebook, Jack, and then move to YouTube once I have the offer and the hook and stuff dialed in. Nicholas, in the email follow-up from Modernize, were they sending you emails for other verticals? I've only been in their funnel for about 3 or 4 days since I started writing this webinar. I haven't seen anything but roofing actually, but go through the funnel yourself. You can learn a lot from them. Clever cookies. Larry, when leads are generated, say 20 to 40 for roofing, how much are they being sold for? And are they being sold to more than one or exclusive? So one or exclusive depends on you as the lead generator. I think leads go, I mean, I think I said, what did I say all the way up here? These are the figures that my mystery guest was telling me about. So they're being generated for between 10 and 40. And we usually put a 50% markup roughly on that. So where it's cheap, you'd probably be selling it for 20, 25, and where, you know, the more competitive spots for different types of roofs and things like that, probably going for 70, 80 bucks, all right? Depends on the location, the client, the type of roof, all that type of stuff. The modernizer is really the create a brand and run all funnels to it. That one brand and that one funnel that you teach. Yeah, so, you know, we teach a similar thing, Kelly. We show you how to build a brand that stands out, and then we have a funnels behind that brand. Okay, and usually we just have one industry. Like, so we wouldn't usually go after, you know, roofing, solar, windows, etc., all from that one brand. I mean, that's pretty big. I would just start with one and build one site around that one particular industry. And then if it looks like you're just killing it, then you can look at building a bigger thing and reinvesting some of your money into a bit more of a custom website like this. And that's when you really hit the ground running. Manuel, that was great. Thanks, Alex. Put a question in the Q&A. I'll have a look at the Q&A in a sec. Sam, great training. How do you track and lead quality per traffic source? That's a good question. So we have, you know, we use GetCake, which is a lead distribution tracking type affiliate software. It's a little bit more expensive, but what you can do, you can either have a funnel per traffic source, which is a little bit messy, or you can use, you know, the Google tags. What do you call them? It's escaped my mind at the moment. Someone will put the answer in here, but you can use the tags to kind of pull all that data through and tell what leads are coming into the traffic source and even pull them into the client's CRM if you would like. But you don't really have to worry about that. Just start with one traffic source, and then once you get bigger, then you can, and making some money, then you can start thinking seriously about this. Justin, how do we get past the no first client situation? Sales makes the world go round, mate. You just have to have thick skin. Keep going, more cold emails, more outreach. Have a look at the webinars we have on our YouTube channel, and they'll show you how to do all that. Michael, not roofing related per se, trying to figure out how to calculate price per lead for the offer to present to a potential client. A or B varies using Dan's formula. There is a common path to affiliates, 250 per conversion in the niche, meaning affiliate just sending a traffic to the company's landing page and never getting paid 250 bucks. What would you charge per lead when you send a lead and not just traffic? Well, we work on like a 10% conversion rate. So just off the top of my head, that tells me the leads are worth about 25 bucks. But if you're using a CPA network, then they're probably making 500 bucks rather than the 250. So you'd need to be going direct to the client if you can. We never use affiliate networks. Yeah, that's what I think that was for Michael. Sam, how do you determine a client has a good sales team? That's just a conversation. Ask them how many sales guys they've got, and it'll become quickly apparent. Jason, when you run ads for businesses, do you use their Facebook page or do you make your own? So if you're creating a brand, like the one that we're talking about, use your own fan page, or you can also generate leads on a one-to-one basis for clients and use their fan page. So the funnels that we create are done on Unbounce, and you can add them as a subdomain to the client's website. Austin, would this funnel work as well if it was on a roofing company website? Yes, that's what I just said. Varushka, what type of audience would you choose for roofing? As I said, the audience just has to be quite broad once you get the pixel dialed in. Okay, you don't have to worry too much about the audience. Most people have got roofs. Well, how well does retargeting help in reducing cost per lead and increasing leads? Retargeting to cold traffic doesn't work so well for all of the offers that we're talking about here. It's not a big part of our process, to be honest with you. It's all about cold traffic. Sam, do you use advertorials or quizzes more, and how do you decide which one to focus on? We usually start with quizzes now and use advertorials when we've got stuff dialed in to get better quality leads and be able to move to the likes of Twitter, etc. Ray, do you charge a setup fee to get it going, and then once you get it dialed in, or do you charge a cost per lead? Depends. Usually we don't charge any setup fees, because once you've done it once for a client, you can pretty much roll it out. Some people charge fees, but we usually don't. Okay. Yeah, we just include it in the cost per lead charge. Ron. Oh yeah, Ron, how's it going? Let's talk about that later. Do you use Advert Suite to determine the best network to drive traffic with? No, we don't use that. We only use it to scrape tools. Kareem, in your campaign example, when you say one audience, do you mean one interest? Yes. Yes. So one interest, one audience, one interest. Also, what audience size can take 600 per day? You probably need about 600,000 people in that audience. So, you know, one interest, or it could be one lookalike, or whatever that is. Or it could be, you know, something over, like if you've got an audience that's running well and it's like an interest overlaid with a lookalike and a, you know, age bracket, then just take those three things together and put them all into each of the 20 ad sets. Does that make sense? But make sure the audience is big enough, at least 600,000. Nicholas, thanks, Dan. If you don't go exclusive for your client, is your funnel at risk of being competed against by others? Are people shopping around? If you sell to 3 clients, I guess the customer is going to stay in your funnel. hope that makes sense. Doesn't quite make sense. If you don't go exclusive for your client, funnel at risk of being. Well, I think when you're speaking to your clients, you need to tell them if you're going to be selling the lead 3 times. Okay, they need to take that into account, that they're going to close 1/3 less, which means they pay 1/3 less. It's just an economics question, really. George, what is the pain point that in the ad copy when you retain roofers? What is the pain point that in the ad copy when you retain roofers? I'm not sure of that question. And we're not in this industry, so I probably wouldn't be able to answer that one. UTM parameters, Brett said, yeah, cool. Michael, can you recommend any other quiz software outside of LeadTalk, ideally without the monthly subscription? Michael, I think sometimes you get what you pay for, mate. LeadTalk's very cheap, considering what you get. I mean, what if you are asked by a client to show past clients? So there's another blog on our website. If you're, Justin, are you in the pay per lead group? If you are, then tag Ariana or Polly and ask for the video that we did that explains how to close clients without kind of previous testimonials and what we do to do that. Extremely powerful. Okay. How much experience in the field do you suggest for people applying to the program to get the most of it? We've got people now that are coming in with very little experience that are doing very well. We're up to version 3 of the program, and it caters. Well, it's got everything you need now. Eric, please share an example of how you would use a third-party page. Third-party page. What I mean by that is, like a third-party page, I mean, do you mean a subdomain where you would build in your own Unbounce account and then attach it to a client's website as a subdomain? So pretty much just as I said it. Eric, I hope that makes sense. Andy, I'm in Spain and honestly haven't seen or heard of any national roofing companies, although I'll look. Would you go smaller companies? What sort of size roofing company is ideal? Well, you've got to start somewhere, right? So if you're interested in going to this industry in Spain, I think that's probably a pretty good market because there won't be many lead gens. I imagine the competition's not going to be much, so you could be onto a gold mine there. But just do some sales, get started. Within the program, we show you how to work with the smaller guys as well. We put them onto what you call a side hustle, where you can charge them a monthly fee because they don't qualify really for your pay per lead offer. And then you just keep on accumulating them, learning, and then eventually you'll find a big one. And it's just really all about sales. Zoo, wasn't a sales call, so only just attending now. There will be a replay, yes. Mark, great job, thanks. No problems, mate. How can we know if leads are low quality or crappy sales team? That's from data, okay? So most of these sales teams that are out there these days are used to calling, databases of people. So they're able to close people, but it usually comes down to contact rates. So if their contact rates are bad, then you need to ask whether or not they're calling quickly and what their follow-up process is like. If they're not calling immediately, then you know that you haven't got a good client, all right? If they are calling immediately and their contact rates are above 50% for an industry like this, then it's likely that there's a problem with the leads. Sam, thanks, Dan. Epic webinar. I'm looking forward to the next one. No problems, mate. Tetsi, thanks. I've got no idea how to pronounce that, mate. Sorry, but thanks for the great content. I appreciate it. Adebayo, thanks, mate. Send your lead to 3. One, your clients should get this. One of your clients, yeah. Nicholas, yeah, exactly what you're saying is right. I'm not sure what the question is. Of course, the lead quality is going to be less. Of course, people are going to shop around. And of course, the clients are going to get less out of those leads. That's just what happens when you sell multiple times. We never sell multiple times within our own agency. Perhaps we should, I don't know. But I've always just liked the idea of our leads being exclusive. Mark, thanks, mate. Yes, Ron, Unbounce over ClickFunnels. Joshua, I think he means Facebook page. Yeah, so that's the brand of that's the fan page of the brand you built. Well, so for Facebook ads, $10 per campaign per day, 20 ad sets, 200 per day. Yep, sounds about right. Joshua, what is your experience with running ads from a page like United Roofing Advocacy as opposed to the actual brand page? I mean, there's controversy around running different fan pages to your site. I would just try and stick with, if you've got a website called XYZ Roofing, then create a fan page and set it up properly. We teach how to do that within our training and keep it consistent. George, when reaching out to roofers, what is the hook that they respond to working with you? Well, I mean, when you're selling leads, it's a pretty good hook. That's the answer to that one. We position that in direct mail, and we position that with our outreach messages, which are all within our program. Eric, please share an example of how you would use a third-party Facebook page for running your campaigns. I just answered that one, mate. I hope that makes sense. Joshua, essentially, I mean, do you see better leads cost from a generic page or from using the client's Facebook page? Doesn't make too much difference. Honestly, it comes down to the hook and the ad copy and the funnel. If you can nail that, it doesn't matter where you're sending the leads from, mate. Christian, great webinar. Thank you, Chat Monday. Good stuff. Gerardo, thanks. Joshua. Also, any opinion on it? Never tried Convertri. I've just been a fan of Unbounce for a very long time. Gerardo, other industries, verticals that have potential CPL that you can mention? I mean, there's so many out there, mate. Obviously, I'm going to do solar, something like mortgages next as well. There's so many out there. Russell said his first one, very instructive, very new to a lot to learn. Good stuff, mate. Best of luck. Brett, based on your recent success with Twitter, are you using it for all new campaigns? Some verticals we are. We've got it running at the moment for our verticals, yes. A bit of a subject, Aranish, what is your take on care home? Justin, listen, I don't think this is the right platform to be asking about niche selection and things like that, mate, sorry. Kareem, have you ever used ManyChat Messenger ads for leads? Yes, we have a whole section within our training where we teach you how to use ManyChat for lead gen. Cool, guys. Will, should we stick to Australia or expand to the US as we grow? Mate, I think you know the answer to that. All right, there might be some Q&A questions here. Will there be a recording? Yes, there will. There's also going to be an epic blog post off the back of this as well. Michael, I think I've been through that one. Alex, at the start you said their mobile ads were great. When you segment the adverts by 20, is that targeting devices? Alex, no, just keep it broad, or whatever's working before. Just keep it the same as whatever's working for. The whole point of this is to find out what the best 3 lines are at the start of each ad. Patrick, any better options on the payment plan for the course? I think that's a question. Hit us up at support and we'll see what the options are there and what you've been offered. Kareem, in your campaign example, when you say one audience, do you mean one interest? Yeah, we've been through all that. Been through all that. Awesome. What other questions do we have here? Chat. Great session. Thanks, guys. Try my hardest. Ray, where do you do your outreaches? LinkedIn, cold drip emails? I know you use also ManyChat. Outreach is LinkedIn, cold email, and direct mail. Andy, I'm really looking forward to the replay. I jumped on late, sorry, but thank you very much for what I've seen so far. Andy, no problems, mate. Should be out tomorrow or the next day, at the very latest. Does anyone else have any questions? Starting to get a bit dry of the throat. Might be time for me to close up shop, I think. But it's been a pleasure, guys. As per usual, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your time today. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you later.